Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at the EMEA Main Event bracket for Stage 2 here. Of course, this is the final event before the Major at Dreamhack Dallas, so 3 teams from EMEA will advance. The winner of this tournament will automatically advance, and then the next 2 highest finishing teams in terms of their points between Stage 1 and Stage 2 will advance as well. That is true in North America as well. I didn't mention that in my North America video if you didn't see that one, but that is the case. Like I said, North America, already made that video. I also already made the video for Asia and their main event, so if you did not see either of those videos, I will link to those in the description, in the cards, and at the end of the video as well if you want to just watch when we get to the end. Whatever works for you, however you want to find it, all of those can be found through that one of those 3 spots. But let's take a look at the EMEA bracket and the teams that we're going to be seeing this weekend, and I'll give you my thoughts on how I think it will go. So first, here is the unfilled in bracket, so you can see the 8 teams that are competing. At the top, we have Space Station Gaming. They go into this as the top overall seed. They were the best team in the Swiss. They were the best team in the group stage. I don't think they've dropped a game. I don't even know if they've dropped a map yet. They've been very dominant so far this stage. Very good team in the Overwatch League. Basically the London Spitfire. I think they've looked really good, so no real shocks there. In my opinion, I think SSG been very, very good. You have Team Peps. I think much improved from Stage 1. They are a returning team from Stage 1, but I think they've improved quite a lot. They've looked very, very good. Very good series from them against ENCE in Group B. So good for them to be here. You have Peace and Love, a bit of a kind of team that was put together of a bunch of kind of players. You know, it's not a big organization team, but it is a team that includes names like ATVI, Psycho, Lauren. I should note it's not the Psycho that is on Space Station Gaming. This is Psycho, the player from Norway, who was formerly, I believe, a member of Students of the Game. So a couple of players that you may recognize on this Peace and Love team, but definitely a team that kind of not as well known in terms of organizations and stuff like that. You have D Impero, a team that you may recall got banned from Stage 1 because of roster issues that they have resolved. A bit of a different team here, but they move on as well into this tournament. We have ENCE, the runners-up from the Stage 1 main event. Obviously won in the upper bracket final and then lost in the grand final. So they're back. Everyone knows this team. This is a very strong team. Expect them to do quite well. You have Super Shy, bit of the shock of the group stage here, as they were the team that upset and eliminated Ex Oblivione. 2 fantastic games between those 2 teams, but at the end of the day, it was Super Shy who took the spot away, and they told Ex Oblivione to wait a minute while they made theirs. So, you know, it is what it is. And you have Twisted Minds and Aw Yeah as the final 2 teams. Here, Twisted Minds won Stage 1 in EMEA. Aw Yeah. Fun little bit of a Junkrat, one tricky kind of team that does their own thing. They're fun to watch. They got pretty close in Stage 1 to making it to the main event. This time around, they do, however, make it, and they are one of the teams here. So those are our 8 teams. Let's take a look now at how I have the bracket going. You can see here at the top, I have Space Station winning that first game against Team Peps. I think Team Peps has improved. I will give them the credit where credit is due. I thought they were kind of middling in Stage 1. They had some okay results, but I thought they made some good changes going into Stage 2. I thought they improved their play going into Stage 2, and now I think they're a pretty solid team. I think Space Station looks very good right now, however. I think it's unlikely that Team Peps is able to take them down, at least in their current state. I just feel very, very strongly about what we've seen from Space Station, both in their stints in the Overwatch League with that, London Spitfire core, and now we know there's a team that can take a little bit of time to get going, but once they click and they find their rhythm, they are so good as a team, and that's what I think we're seeing here now. We're seeing them finally get the ball rolling, and they're figuring out their style as best as they can. They're working Psycho into the roster really well, and I think they've just been playing phenomenally throughout stage 2. So no real shock there to me. I think SSG's a pretty solid team for that reason. Peace and Love, D'Impero. I don't think either of these teams are particularly great. D'Impero did have a good reverse sweep win over Rockstars to get here, which is a pretty impressive thing to note. Peace and Love, I thought, was in a pretty weak group. I believe they were in the group with Oh Yeah, so it wasn't a phenomenal selection of teams in that group. I think they are kind of one of the weaker looking teams here. I thought Ataraxia would get out of that group. They didn't. And so give credit where credit is due to Peace and Love. They did surprise me. They did win a game that I didn't fully expect them to. But I think this is probably the weakest of the first round games. I don't think either of these two teams are really all that high level. I haven't been that impressed by either of these teams. So I will give the edge to Peace and Love. I think they've looked better. I think they have a little bit more going for them. But this one will probably be pretty close. I just don't expect either of these teams to really make a huge splash as the tournament goes on. ENCE versus Super Shy. I think Super Shy is a really interesting team. They're definitely, to me, one of the teams I want to see play a lot. I'm really excited by this team and what they've managed to do. The fact that they beat Exhibivione was very impressive. I thought they looked really good. Obviously, they've added some pieces from the old Sheer Cold roster. They've bolstered this team a lot. I think they have really good, honestly, like branding and social media presence, which I think is really cool to see from teams when you have really good kind of styling and really good branding and really good presence. It helps make them a very easy team to root for. But I don't think they're going to be an ENCE team that, to me, is still one of the best teams in this region and one of the best teams outside of Asia. I think they just still look very phenomenal. I don't think they have the means to stop the Kevster-Kai duo. I still think that the support line in ENCE is really, really good. So I think it's very difficult to expect Super Shy to get that win over an ENCE team that just looks really good all the time. But I think it'll be a pretty good game. I do like Super Shy quite a bit. I think they might be similar to EXO in this tournament, that even though they are going in as a lower seed, I do think they are probably better than teams like Oh Yeah and D'Impero, maybe even better than Peps and Peace and Love as well. So I think Super Shy is pretty good, but I don't think this is a great first-round game for them. Then you have Twisted Minds versus Oh Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in Oh Yeah winning this game. Twisted Minds, as much as I think that they have not looked as dominant in Stage 2 as they did in Stage 1, I still think that they are going to win against Oh Yeah pretty handily and pretty convincingly. I don't really think Oh Yeah is a phenomenal team. They're a kind of one-note, one-dimensional team. I think Twisted Minds is going to have their way with them, and they're going to move on to the upper bracket semis. That sets up SSG versus Peace and Love at the top. Give me Space Station. I've been very impressed by them. I think they have looked incredible this year, at least in this stage, at the very least. And they've improved quite a lot over time. And so I just don't really see a world in which this Peace and Love team that was thrown together kind of going into Stage 2, I just don't see them doing a lot to knock down SSG. ENCE versus Twisted Minds, they've played a lot. It's a rematch of the Stage 1 upper bracket final, a rematch of the Stage 1 grand final. They played in the Swiss bracket. These two teams have been playing a lot. And ENCE, as far as I'm aware, has won the majority of the meetings. I guess they may have split. I think the first time they played, it was Twisted Minds, then ENCE, then Twisted Minds, then ENCE. So they have split, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So it'll be interesting to see who can take the series lead here. I think that ENCE has improved more in Stage 2 than Twisted Minds has, and I think that is a lot. I think they were very close in Stage 1. I think ENCE has looked better since, and I think ENCE is probably the team that I would favor now over Twisted Minds. I think it's close, but right now I think I would give the edge to ENCE more so than Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds did make roster moves. They made changes, obviously. They no longer have Kelix on the roster. They bring in Admiral in their hope to make the roster a bit better. I think that is a bit of a hindrance to the fact that Admiral may be the better player. In my opinion, he is the better player. but you have to rework him into the roster, and that hurts some of the synergy that they'd built up for a long time. Now ENCE gets the edge of having a little bit more synergy that's been built up. They also brought in a player with Chase, but as far as I'm aware, he hasn't played much, so I really like ENCE. I think they win this one. I've been more impressed with them in Stage 2. Obviously, they struggled a bit more against Peps, but I thought Peps was a better opponent than anyone that Twisted Minds played in the group stage. So, close, but I'm going to give the edge to ENCE. In that one, that would set up a Space Station versus ENCE upper bracket final. And right now, I got to give the edge to Space Station. I think meta is the name of the game in EMEA, more so than it is in any other region. I think if we're getting a lot of Orisa, which it looks like we might be, ENCE probably should be favored in the sense that I think their Orisa play is really, really good. And we've seen a lot of really, really great stuff from Vistola on the Orisa. But I've been so impressed by what Space Station's been able to do as of late that I will say I think they win. I think this is very much we have 3 teams that are going to be making it, and it's going to be Space Station, ENCE, and Twisted Minds. It's a question of who is the top seed when all is said and done, who's second, who's third. That's really the game that we're playing here in EMEA. But right now, I'm going to say Space Station walks out of that upper bracket final and goes into the grand final through the upper bracket. That brings us to the lower bracket. We would have a Team Peps D'Impero game. Like I said, I have not been that impressed by D'Impero. I think Team Peps look very good. I think there's a bit of a break between where these teams are. I think Peps should win this game somewhat convincingly. Super Shy, oh yeah, give me Super Shy. I think they have way more success under their belt. You look at who they've beaten and who they've played. They have had a much tougher road to get here. They had to play through and beat some much higher level teams. So, to me, there's a very good reason to think that Super Shy has been proven and has been tested in a way that Alya has not. So, I prefer Super Shy in that one. Twisted Minds would play Peps. I think Twisted Minds is the better team there. I think they will be victorious over Team Peps. I think that they have just looked better, they've performed better, and I think all in all, like I said, I think they're a top 3 team, so even if they don't make it to the upper bracket final, I still don't think they'll have trouble getting top 3, because I think they are such a good team as a whole. I'm going to take the upset of Super Shy over Peace and Love. Like I said, Super Shy has impressed me more with their wins. I think they've proven more in the way they've played. I still have a lot of questions about Peace and Love. I think they had a very easy run through the group stage. I don't think they had a very good group. So they got a very nice run to get here. Super Shy has shown me more. Would I be shocked if Peace and Love was the team that managed to win this? Absolutely not. But right now, I have seen Super Shy win against teams that we know are good. And that, to me, is reason enough to think that they should be the team that wins this game. Right now, in this current moment, I feel like I have seen more out of Super Shy than I have out of Peace and Love. So I'm going to take Super Shy to win this one. I do think Twisted Minds gets the win over Super Shy, however, in the lower bracket semis. Super Shy gets 4th. Twisted Minds, of course, then would get a shot at 2nd or 3rd. And that sets up a game between ENCE and Twisted Minds in the lower bracket final. I'm going to take ENCE again. It could go either way, obviously. I do think there is reason to expect either one of these teams to win. I think they're both very, very strong teams, very solid teams. But right now, I feel a little bit better about ENCE, especially in an Orisa meta. I really, really, really like Vistola's Orisa. I think he is one of the best Orisas right now. We saw what was, Finland versus Saudi Arabia was an incredibly close matchup when they played in the World Cup. And so seeing them play again, basically similar matchup. I think ENCE has a little bit more of an edge. I think their talent that they've added around them is a little bit better, as more of an upgrade. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but I like ENCE a lot. We know these teams are very close together, but right now I feel better about ENCE. And that would set up another game between Space Station and ENCE, and I think it goes the way of Space Station. I think right now they are the best team in EMEA. It could go either way. It really is that close in EMEA. The top 3 are the top 3. I think that they are firm with the top 3, but who is number 1 changes by the day. And that is what is so unique about EMEA in comparison to at North America or Asia, where in Asia there's a clear-cut top 2, and they bounce back and forth, but everybody else is not really at the same level. In North America, we know who number 1 is. Everybody else is kind of fighting for the 2 and 3 spot. But here it feels like we know who the top 3 are going to be, especially with EXO out. We know, seemingly, it's going to be either Space Station, ENCE, or Twisted Minds as the 1, and then one of those is the 2, and one of those is 3. There's not really a lot of feeling about any other result, especially because none of the other teams that did particularly well in the last tournament are present. Peps is really the only team that could do something to surprise them, because they finished top 6 in the last main event. But Super Shy didn't compete in the last main event. Oh yeah, wasn't in the last main event. Peace and Love and the Impera weren't in the last main event. So half of the teams playing weren't even in the last main event. The team that got 4th isn't in this last main. Yeah, they got 3rd, not even 4th, 3rd isn't in this main event. So it feels very likely that unless a team goes on a miracle run and wins this event and qualifies, that it's going to be Space Station, ENCE, and Twisted Minds at the end of the day, coming out of this group and coming out of this region and representing EMEA in Dallas. But, like I said, we don't know exactly what to expect, who's going to actually be the top team when all is said and done in this particular event, because a meta changes things. We've seen ENCE look like the best team, we've seen Twisted Minds look like the best team, we've seen Space Station look like the best team, so I think that's what makes this interesting, this region very interesting. That I think of all of the regions, this is probably the best top 3, and the only one that I can't say for sure I know is going to win. I feel pretty confident in Asia, about 50-50, I guess. I feel like pretty much 100% sure who's going to win in North America. Here, I honestly don't know. So, it makes it interesting. I like EMEA. That's what's fun about EMEA. And I think it's going to be cool to see what happens when we get to the final day of games here in EMEA. Because literally, we go into the final day and it could be anybody. Even if Space Station dominates Peps, dominates Peace and Love, and wins against ENCE, I could watch the ENCE Twisted Minds game in the lower bracket final and go, oh, I actually don't think SSG is going to win anymore. I would never say that about North America. I just think in North America, you know what's going to happen. And even in Asia, you kind of have a good sense. We'll probably have a pretty good sense after the first few games whether or not Falcons or Crazy Raccoon is in the better spot. So it's interesting. It's fun. I like EMEA for that reason. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on this region. Where do you agree with me? Where do you disagree with me? Am I overrating one of these teams? Am I underrating one of these teams? Like I said, top 3, it's a dice roll. Any of those teams could win. But maybe I don't. Maybe I'm underrating Super Shy or Peps, or maybe oh yeah, maybe one of you thinks oh yeah is gonna go on a miracle run. I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. Like I said, let me know yours in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video and want more like it in the future, consider liking and subscribing, because your support does help out a lot with the channel. But that's going to be all from me for today. I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And until next time, bye-bye.